Hi guys, it's been a while. I have taken a short break off of YouTube and man, a lot has happened since then. What's crazy is that I've actually accomplished like almost all of these on here. It is July, so we're half the year is gone. Wow, that's crazy. I'm super duper happy to be back on YouTube. I am 20 years old. Today is July 2nd, 2024, and it is my 4th day of being back home in Florida. I am filming this today in hopes that this finds the right audience and the right people that want to travel and solo travel. And I want to share a little bit of how I did that, and hopefully this can help someone out. So if you guys are following me on Instagram, you guys know a little bit of what's going on in my life and what I've been doing the last couple of months. And if you're new here, then hi, I'm Nikki, and I started this channel back when I lived in Hawaii. I was doing little vlogs. I ended up stopping doing YouTube, or taking a break, I would say, is because my vlog camera had broke and I had moved off island due to some health issues that were going on. But a lot has happened since then. Let me fill you guys in on the last few months of my life. So I had recently just got back from a 4-month solo backpacking trip all throughout South Asia, Europe. It was the best 4 months of my life. I started in Japan, then I went to the Philippines, Thailand, Bali, a few islands around Bali, and then I went to Europe. I did Austria, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Italy, France, and then I went to Canada, and then I went to New York, and now I'm back home in Florida. I did all these travels solo, and yes, I paid for all of it. I think that's the question I get asked the most, is if I paid for it all myself and how I was able to afford all of that, which I will explain later. Another question I got asked a lot was about safety, solo traveling, especially as a girl. Did I feel safe? Something else I wanted to talk about is how exactly did I do this trip? What are the steps to do prior? What did I do during? How did I do it? I think that absolutely everyone should try solo traveling at least once in their life. I think it is absolutely life-altering. And I guess the most important thing to me is to tell you guys that it is possible. And no matter how crazy it sounds, no matter what people say about you, about your ideas, about your thoughts, don't ever let them drag you down. Because if I listened to every single person that told me this was a bad idea, I would not have the same mindset that I have now, have the same friends I have now, not have the same experiences as I have now. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, and people are always gonna hate on you. People are always gonna have something to say about you. People are always gonna have something to say about your ideas. So first and foremost, if you're watching this and you want to travel, my first step for you is to start a journal. And I know most people already have journals, and that's amazing. You journal your thoughts and what you did today, but I think it's also really important to journal what you manifest, what you wish for, what you want for, because if you think about it, you are taking these third dimension thoughts that popped into your brain for a reason. You're taking them from the third dimension, putting them in your brain, planting the seed, and from there, you are letting it out into writing, into physical form, physical paper of what these third dimension thoughts that slipped into your brain really are. That's manifesting. That's what manifesting is. I think that everybody should have a journal. What I also do that I think helps me tremendously, and I do this every year for New Year's, I have a little vision board. I recommend doing this either for New Year's or for your birthday, because I think those are two huge life shifts. So this is my vision board. It's actually not fully finished. I left this part a little bit blank, but wow, what's crazy is that I've actually accomplished like almost all of these on here, and I did this for New Year's. So today's July, so we're half the year is gone. Wow, that's crazy. Anyways, I think if you look at my Instagram, you can see that half of these are kind of accomplished, kind of done. I still have yet to start my YouTube seriously. I would love to get my motorcycle license, and I still have to hit 10K. Also, start my clothing brand, which is in the works. Anyways, I absolutely swear by vision boards. I think that these are absolutely amazing. It's also amazing to look back at it after the year is gone and just really like see everything you've accomplished. You can even like check off or like sticker over some of the ones you've done. And yeah, I just do these every year, and I think that it's a great reminder to like put up somewhere in your room so that you see it. So I guess now to get to the part of how I actually got the money to do this trip. Before my 4 months of travel, I worked 3 jobs full time. I'm the type of person that loves to try new things and new jobs, hobbies, and I did the most random jobs. All jobs, I guess, that fit me and fit my category and my lifestyle. Because I firmly believe in doing what you love to do, because I think you spend so much time at work, so might as well make work something that you're super passionate about and love to do. So it's a little bit more enjoyable. I love kids, so I babysat a lot. So that was one of my main sources of incomes. And I also worked at a boba shop, which was super fun. I also taught tennis. That was another source of income. As most of you know, I've been playing tennis since I was 4 years old, so I went to college for it. So yeah, tennis coach. So yeah, if you guys ever need a tennis coach. I also worked at 2 restaurants. I absolutely hate the restaurant industry with all of my heart, and I told myself I will never ever work in a restaurant ever again. I also sold a lot of my clothes and just like random things that I found in my room that I no longer needed. I also did some modeling. I'm an ambassador for some clothing brands, so that is also a little source of income. So that's everything I did prior to my trip, and now let me say a little bit of what I did during my trip to make money, or ways that you can make money while traveling. So I love social media, and what I did is I basically did some marketing for certain Airbnbs or places I stayed at in return for free stays. So of course that saves you money. It's something that I love doing, so I was just taking lots of videos, pictures, drone shots for these places, and then posting on my socials, tagging them, sending it for their socials, doing collabs. So that's a great way of going about this if you're into that sort of stuff. Another great way to make money while traveling, I've met a lot of people do this, is work trade. So you basically work at a hostel or resort in return for free stays and accommodation, food, transportation. So you can also do that. There's also a lot of volunteering programs that you can do through World Packers. I know that's a great website that a lot of people I know have used and done that. So that's all the ways that I made money while traveling, and I also want to talk about how I saved money. So of course, before my trip, before my travels, I had my savings that I put to the side, and then I had my money that I was able to use and that I needed to use for paying off certain bills and etc. So I was really good at saving. If you're not good at saving, I really suggest finding someone that is good at saving and getting some guidance from them. Also have your separate savings account. Just put like half or however amount of your paycheck into that and do not touch that. I also live at my mom's house before I started traveling, so that helped me save a lot. I didn't have to pay for rent. And now to saving money while you're traveling. I stayed at hostels almost everywhere I went, and prior to my travels, I have never stayed at a hostel before. To be honest, I was deathly afraid of them, that they weren't going to be clean, that they weren't going to be safe, that, I don't know, I was going to be surrounded by some weirdos in my room. You name it, all of your fears I had, but honestly, I cannot imagine my travels if I didn't stay at hostels. I have met almost every single one of my friends at hostels I stayed at. Also, you save so much money staying at hostels. Certain hostels I stayed at were in between like $7 to like $20 a night. So definitely it's possible to travel cheap. Also for food, a lot of the times if you can cook or have like a shared house, you guys can cook food there. That's a super cheap way to go about things. Or eating locally. So eating at local food places saves you so much money. But also of course depends where you travel. Like when I started in Japan, that was a little bit more on the expensive side. When I went to the Philippines, that was super duper on the cheap side. So was Thailand, so was Bali. Europe got a little bit pricier again. So it of course depends where you go as well. I really suggest going to Indonesia as your first traveling, solo traveling. You meet so many friends, everything is so cheap, everything is so beautiful. So now to go about how exactly I plan my travels. There's many travel companies and agencies that you can hire to plan your trip for you, from accommodation to transportation. I myself have started a travel agency company with my cousin. It's called The Week Off, and it's linked on my Instagram if you want to check them out. Our first official trip will be next June, so June 2025, and our destination will be my favorite place on planet Earth, my favorite place I've ever traveled to, and that is Bali. So I am so stoked. Anyone is able to come, anyone from all around the world. We are putting everything in this trip for a super cheap and affordable price for everybody. A lot of activities, accommodation, transportation, food, all of that. So yeah, we have our Instagram if you want to check that out. I personally love doing the stuff and finding things and putting things together, so I did all of this myself. I got a lot of recommendations from a lot of friends that have traveled to these places prior and have done a lot of research myself. Most important thing I suggest doing is, if you want to do it yourself, is reading reviews. Please read reviews. Don't only look at Airbnb hostel photos, read the reviews. See how many stars it has, because I have made that mistake actually of going to a place strictly, basically only looking at the photos, and I thought it was amazing, and I got there and I left after a day. It was horrible. My absolutely most asked question by my friends, especially family, by everyone, was how was the safety traveling as a solo female traveler? So let's talk about it. So I think as a female, you are just an automatic target absolutely everywhere. There's definitely ways to go about it though. Did I ever feel unsafe while I was traveling? The answer is no, never. Out of all the countries I've been to, I've never felt unsafe. There's also certain things that you should avoid. For example, if you're traveling as a solo female girl, you should not dress very openly and provocatively. I brought a lot of clothes as well with me that were unisex, so for men or women. An example of that would be, let's say, jean shorts, like the jorts, like the longer ones. But if you want to look cuter and want to look more feminine, because I personally love to look feminine, so I just like rolled them over and made them into like short shorts. So yeah, definitely the clothes that you wear. I've had one experience only where I felt a little bit on edge. It was in the Philippines, in the island of Cebu. And I decided to go to this waterfall. It was the most beautiful waterfall ever, by the way. But I decided to go to this waterfall by myself, which was like a 50-minute ride, moped ride. So I rented my scooter and I went there. And immediately, the guys that were working around there started coming up to me. And I'm not gonna lie, I was with my little tripod taking pictures because I was trying to do a photo shoot for the brand I am an ambassador for. So that may have been the problem, but that's, that's one thing. These males started coming up to me. They were asking me, oh, like, are you here alone? Immediately, don't ever say yes. No, never. Don't ever do that. I think most of you are smart enough to not do that, but always, no, I'm not alone. I have a friend that's coming. I have a boyfriend that's coming. Oh, my boyfriend's just over there. So yeah, I basically just said, no, I'm waiting here on my friends. And then he proceeded to ask me, oh, are they guys or girls? Yeah, they're guys. They're coming right now. And then he proceeded to ask how many. And that's when I was like, okay, something's wrong here. Something's going down. So that's when you gotta really stick your ground. So I kind of got a little bit angry and I was like, why? Is there a problem? Like, that definitely pushed him back. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, like this and that. Anyways, immediately right after that, I packed up my stuff and I left. When I left, I got on my bike, drove around, kind of hid in one spot, like in this road by this restaurant, just waited just to see if anyone was following me, just in case. If someone does ask you where you're staying at, please don't ever tell them. But I think that's common sense. I think a lot of these things are common sense, and I think many people kind of underestimate us girls. I think us girls tend to act a little bit more dumb than we actually are. Just for the game of it, for the fun of it. If you ever think a girl is dumb, she's really not. It's like 80% of the times when a girl acts dumb, she's really just acting. Like, us girls are just actors. And it's not even like we're acting to be crazy or be something. We're acting simply for the fact to see if the guy knows, or if the guy is trying to, set us up somehow. Like, that's just our natural protective little bubble that we have. I think, of course, once we're comfortable with you, that kind of acting goes away, but, So that's kind of the only time I ever felt a little bit unsafe, but not even to the point where I was scared or anything like that. Now moving on to things that you should bring and things you shouldn't bring if you're going on a backpacking trip. First and foremost, do not overpack. I overpacked. Everyone I know overpacked on their travels. You really don't need a lot. You will rewear your outfits. You will be washing your outfits. You will also be buying, I promise, you will be buying a lot of clothes because I'm pretty sure wherever you're going, they're gonna have a different style or something cool, or you'll wanna bring a souvenir of something. So if you need something, you can always buy. So don't overpack. Just pack some of your favorite outfits and things that you can rewear, things that you can put together with different pieces of clothing. Something that I really recommend bringing is portable chargers. I brought 3. So I brought one that I have that's a really good one for absolutely anything. If you need it for a camera, a computer, a phone, anything, you can charge it. The best ones, my favorite ones, are ones that you can plug into the wall to charge, like the portable charger. Just bring like 2 or 3 portable chargers. If one breaks, you have a backup. Something else that I really recommend bringing is a spare phone. You can just buy a cheap one if you don't already have one. I feel like most people already have burner phones, but I really recommend that. I was stuck in Thailand when my phone broke. It crashed on me because it was too full of storage. Definitely watch your storage while traveling. Definitely back things up and delete things along the way. But my phone was too full of storage and it completely crashed on me. I didn't have a spare phone. I didn't know what to do. Luckily, the angels were by my side and this local was super sweet and helped me out, and we got that situation figured out. I had to delete a lot of things on my phone. You never know. Or taking your computer so that you can like back up things into the computer. That's another thing that I super recommend when going to places is getting SIM cards. My phone plan is kind of silly because it's SIM locked, which means it doesn't accept other SIMs into my phone. So I had a huge problem with that when I was in Japan. I basically wasn't able to use my phone. My phone had no Wi-Fi. I had to rent out a Wi-Fi box that I had to carry with me everywhere I went. When going on trips, you should definitely look up what's the safest, fastest, and easiest way of transportation. Most places I went to was transportation by moped or trains, which trains are super duper easy to figure out. Mopeds, if you know how to drive one, that they're amazing. If you're not confident in driving a moped, please do not even try it. Do not risk it, especially when you're far away from home. I have seen way too many accidents happen in front of my own eyes. I had to call the ambulance for people. I had to carry people because they got hurt trying to ride a moped. It is the scariest thing ever. Moving forward from that is travel insurance. You should definitely get travel insurance before you go, and make sure you read what your travel insurance, like what it protects you from. A lot of the times it doesn't protect you from moped accidents and crashes. And then speaking of mopeds, if you're wanting to rent a moped and you're comfortable with driving one, a lot of the times they ask you for like a deposit or to leave your passport with them while you rent the moped, and then you bring it back, they give you your passport back. Personally, I did not feel comfortable with giving anyone my passport. My passport to me is my prized possession, and I just think it's too much of a risk liability to be leaving it with somebody else. I do not trust anybody else with my passport. So a lot of times you can ask them to leave a deposit down, like a cash deposit. Give them some cash in return for renting the moped. When you come back, they give it back to you. Just make sure you have proof of everything, of course, just in case. One of my biggest takeaways from my experience was say yes to everything. If you have an opportunity presented in front of you, if someone asks you to go somewhere, if you want to do something, just say yes to it all, because you never know where that'll get you. You don't know who you'll meet there, who you'll get introduced to there, what you'll be able to experience. Just say yes to everything. Just go out, say yes. Do it. Of course, listen to your body and listen to your mind. If you think you're unsafe, if you think you're doing unwell and you need a resting period, which is also super duper important, is even though you're on a trip, you're on a vacation like type of thing, it's important to listen to your body and just like take that rest. You don't want to get sick while traveling or burnt out. But the point was to definitely say yes to it all. Do everything. Go out of your comfort zone. I have met so many friends that I genuinely love with all of my heart because I said yes and pushed myself to go out. Even when I felt like I didn't want to, my social battery was kind of burning out. I went on my own by myself, and I met like some of my best friends at the places that I went to simply because I pushed myself to go. If I never pushed myself to go that day that I kind of didn't really want to or was scared to or shy to, I would not know the people that I know now. And that's a crazy thought to me. Like, that's crazy. I think I learned so much about culture as well. One of my favorite cultures, actually, some of the things I noticed was in Indonesia. How humble and grounded the people were there. I think they were so grounded and humble because of their spirituality. They're so spiritual there. Every morning they would put out like these little palm leaves. I'm not sure what the exact name of it is called, but these little like palm leaf like trays or little plates. And they'd put an incense on there, they'd light it up and burn that. They'd give a little offering there. It would be like a little chocolate or a cigarette or a toy or something, an offering to kind of give back. And they would put this every morning in front of their homes, in front of their shops, absolutely anywhere and everywhere. You smelled it. You woke up, you went out to the street, and it was everywhere. And I absolutely love that. They're some of the most grounded, smiling, happy people I've ever met in my life. They're so incredibly cute. In Thailand as well, they were so helpful with everything. They just wanted to share their culture and show who they are, what they present. It was just beautiful. In Japan, it was also amazing how well their system of life was. There was no trash anywhere. You would never see a gum on the floor. It was just incredible. I'm so grateful for getting this experience and meeting the people that I know. And I'm just so proud of myself that I created this life for myself. Because if I listened to those people that were telling me that this is a crazy idea, that it's unsafe, that it's not smart, I shouldn't waste my money, I would have not been who I am today. And I would not be sitting here. I just want to forever inspire people to listen to their heart and their passion that's within them, because you are given this opportunity, this thoughts, this fiery feeling for a reason, and you should listen to that. And I feel like many people are getting that restricted, those feelings, they're just hiding them, covering them up based on their job that they work, their environment that they're in. When I think creativity and your passion and following that is your greatest gift. You're passionate about that for a reason, and you have to listen to that. You have to take that and run with it, because life is too short. Life is really too short, and you never know what's going to happen to you tomorrow, the next week, the next month. And if you don't do these things and really listen to yourself, then whose life are you really living? If you guys have any more questions for me about my travels or want to hear some funny stories, I definitely have a lot to share. I'm also writing a book, so I'm in the process of doing that exactly to detail about my 4-month traveling experience, exactly where I stayed, the rating that I give that place, absolutely everything to the detail. But the book will not be launched for another couple weeks because I'm in the process of editing it and I need to find couple more knickknacks to add to that. But I'm super excited about this project I'm working on. I'm super duper happy to be back on YouTube, and I can't wait to hear and interact with you guys a little bit more. Let me know your feedback, what you think. Keep up with my Instagram as well. If you have any questions, DM me on there. I'll be posting a lot of my travels, a lot of content I still have yet to post from everywhere. Anyways, I'm so happy. Thank you guys for giving me the time and hearing me out and listening, and I hope this helps somebody. Until next time, ciao!